ponga.
Alele kita ponga.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Alue, alue, alua.
Alue, alue, alua.
Alele.
Alele.
Alele kita ponga.
Alele kita ponga.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Alue, alue, alua.
Alue, alue, alua.
Alele.
Alele.
Alele kita ponga.
Alele kita ponga.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Alue, alue, alua.
Alue, alue, alua.
Alele.
Alele.
Alele kita ponga.
Alele kita ponga.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Amasa, masa, masa.
Arms together.
Arms together.
The jet,
Kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet.
hands up.
Hands up.
Wrists together.
Wrists together.
Arms together.
Arms together.
Elbows together.
Elbows together.
The jet, fist
Kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet.
arms up.
Hands up.
Wrists together.
Wrists together.
Arms together.
Arms together.
Elbows together.
Elbows together.
Knees together.
Knees together.
The jet,
Kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet, kiss the jet.
hands up.
Before starting, to come here and read the the resolution clauses. Fem, you are recognized. Sorry, just one thing before. Please all keep your back. Yeah, it should be clear for. Okay.
Dear Mrs. President, members of the House and fellow delegates, first, further request the creation of an independent EU agency to verify the fairness of human resource practices, paying particular attention to a gender balance in senior positions. Second, supports giving reward to companies which fulfill the standards set by the Europe 2020 strategy. Third, emphasizes the necessity of further promoting the gender equality strategy so as to provide women with financial aid in order to support entrepreneurship and self-employment. Urges the creation of a specific financial reports from companies board in order to prove that equal career chances for all employees with the same position, irrespective of gender, has been completed. Suggest a common equal pay day within member states in order to raise awareness of the existing pay gap between males and females. Endorses legislation that would ensure that both maternity and paternity leave are of an equal period of time. Calls for the improvement and expansion of current childcare services in order to reduce the burden on full-time working parents.
Someone from the proposing committee ready to deliver a defense speech? Yes, Fem, you are recognized. I remember that you have 3 minutes. We will do like that when it's 30 seconds left.
Dear Mr. President, members of the board and fellow delegates, despite great strides made by the international women's rights movement over many years, women and girls around the world are still falling victim to numerous forms of discrimination and inequalities, irrespective of the level of professional, family, social, civil, or political life. In many countries, the law does not give them the same right as men. In others, the right tends still not to be respected in practice. Women often work more than men, yet are paid less. And I'm not talking about different jobs. They get paid less for the same amount of hours in the very same job. Gender discrimination like this affects women and girls throughout their lifetime and lead to the fact that they're often the ones that suffer the most poverty. According to the EU figures, only 30% of Europe's managers are women, but this percentage dropped to just 10% for large corporations. It should also be noted that in many cases, women have to accept more flexibility when working to balance the need of work and family. The family care and domestic work still fall in a high percentage of women and make it difficult in promoting equality with men in the labor market. One consequence of this is the overrepresentation in all countries of women in part-time jobs. Women tend to be concentrated in the lower paid jobs over and over again, which are valued both socially and economically worse. When looking at the gender pay gap, we see that on average, women in the EU earn around 17% less per hour than men. The gender pay gap is the difference between men's and women's pay based on the average difference in gross hourly earnings of all employees. It varies across Europe. In Spain, the men in positions of high salary receive between 15 and 20% more than women do. Although the overall gender pay gap has narrowed in the last decade, it has not been erased, and in some countries it's actually been widening. It exists even though women do better at school and university than men. On average, 81% of women in the EU reach at least upper secondary school education compared to just 75% of men. When it comes to parental leave, Central European countries have the longest one in the world. In the Czech Republic and Slovakia, it is standard that mothers stay at home for 2 to 4 years after a child's birth, which may extend with additional children. It's also possible for the fathers to take the leave instead of the mothers, but it's not common. In Spain, the mother only has 4 months to take off. Only up to 15 days can be taken off by the father, and if he takes all 15 days, the mother only has 97 days left to take instead of 4 months. Even though women represent 60% of university graduates in the EU, they are paid on average 14.7% less than their male counterparts, even when doing exactly the same job. Why in our modern age is there still gender inequality? Why can women apply for combat roles if they meet the requirements that men do? Why do women still take more time off to take care of sick children? Why are children and women still living in poverty? And if equality is already here, then why isn't sexual harassment gone? Why?
Thank you very much, Pam. So now there's people from other committees ready to deliver an attack speech. Please raise your placard if it's like that.
I agree with the resolutions that you have made in your speech, but we think that some of the things you have said could be better for another ones. For example, in regard to the solution about the gender balance in senior position, it is true that only the 13.7% of the women have top corporate positions in.
Thank you very much for this. Thank you very much for the floor. Our opponent was saying that women, hello. When you talk of gender equality, you're talking about giving women and men the same opportunities in workplaces, giving them the same opportunities when they are going to ask for jobs. If, the point of where
Please raise your placard. I'm sure there's more
jobs, you try to get into contact with them before giving them jobs, because they are women and they are men. Because before I give you this job, can I do this with you before I give you this job? This is what I'm talking about. This is the one I can talk about. And the pay equality. For pay equality, giving men and women the same amount, and there will be money in the economy and in the hands of everybody. I think, personally, it will be unfair for a man and a woman having the same degree, having the same level of education, which have applied for the same job, and there's a discrimination that a man gets a higher pay, a higher wage at the end of the month than a woman. It will be unfair. So I think with the same level of education, the same level of degrees, I think they have to get the equal pay at the end of the month. All right, thank you.
Remember that you only can pass the microphone once, so when you change.
I'm going to answer the question about violence. We are defending the rights of the woman in the labor market, doesn't connect to that. We are defending the rights on the land, not the violence. Dear Vice President, members of the board and fellow colleagues. The inequality and unfairness of the labor market that women face every day is something that is not always easily noticed. It's not easily noticed because it's been going on for so long that it has become normal. Things can't keep on going like this. Imagine we are applying for the same job. We both feel the conditions of the job and we both good candidates. Who do you think will get the job? I will. And a man. End of story. You see, this is the problem. Employers see as a risk hiring a woman, a risk of her becoming pregnant and therefore having to take the maternity leave and not being able to work. But isn't the man just as responsible of his own child as the woman is? If you have to choose between a man or a woman for a job, you shouldn't think about these type of things. You should think which of them is better prepared for the job. Obviously, people don't think like this nowadays, because girls are more prepared than men, but men get jobs more easily. This is something that has to change, and has to change right now.
Now, we have been talking about jobs and job opportunities. As we talk about in the defense speech, women earn on average 14.7% less than men, even doing the exactly same job. Now, boys, imagine yourselves that you're in class getting back your note for an exam. You've got the exact same note as the girl sitting next to you. You both failed the exam. So, now, imagine that the teacher decides to write the girl's note. Why? Well, because it's a girl. That's a sufficient reason, right? No, it's not. That's our reality. That's the situation that women all around the world face every single day. Thank you. Three in favor, 2 abstentions, and 1 against. 2 against. Okay, and last but not least, Fem. With 23 votes in favor, 16 votes against, and 2 abstentions, the resolution passed.
We agree with them that they have to interfere in this war, but we think that the European Union has to make a meeting between the South and the North representatives to sign finally a document of peace after listening all the solutions they want. We don't want to the others with their hands. So we think that we have to interfere and not letting them doing a killing place. Thank you.
You have mentioned that
We think that the European Union only sends food and help of the people who don't participate in the war, and we think that is a way to help the soldiers to continue to kill the others. And what do you think about it?
The question. Our committee believes the only way of solving the war in Sudan is by meeting the demands of both parties. So what is the EU doing about this? Thank you.
Anyone, depending from which country comes, is treated different in the schools by the teachers, and that's not equality, right? What do you think about it? Thank you.
Spain.
We think that we don't agree with the thing that the cultures don't have any importance in the life of citizens, because each citizen has a way of life and a different opinion. We think that the council must create a buildings to celebrate the festivals of each culture, because that may be good. all the cultures have the same opportunity to celebrate their festivals like the others, which are minorities. So why are the festivals of some selected cultures celebrate and others no in minorities? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your opinion. And last question.
But here in Spain, many adults are unemployed, so should companies rather give the jobs to students rather than adults that may need to take care of a family? What do you think about that?
Thank you. Albert, you have mentioned it about the German plan. I think that is a good idea, but what happens if the students that graduate don't get job, and how will they return their money to the government?
We agree with it. But with the current economic situation, the financial crisis and everything, where is the money? That's the question you have to be asking yourself. Where is the money? Thank you.
And what things should you remove